It might seem like your average family breakfast, but this is not your average family. 3 of the children at Lynn and Ivor Wilkinson's breakfast table are not their own. They're kids in crisis that the Wilkinsons have taken under their wing. 2 who we can't identify will stay for a couple of days or weeks, but it's been a couple of months for 15-year-old Sam Egan.
How did you feel that first day when you came here?
Nervous, a bit frightened, didn't know what to expect.
He came here because he was in conflict with his family and both sides needed time out.
What was Sam like when he first arrived?
Very quiet, very withdrawn, showing all the signs of being a depressed young lad, traumatised, frightened.
Since then, Sam has undergone a remarkable change and developed a strong bond with the Wilkinsons, particularly 18-year-old Jane and 16-year-old Sally.
He's got a lot more confidence, his self-esteem's risen, he's smiling, he takes his hat off. He's got a good communication with his parents and brothers again, and he's now looking forward to going home.
It's helped me get confidence in myself, and that's all I really needed was confidence and to face problems instead of walking away.
Hands wide apart, lifted out over your chest.
Building confidence and self-esteem are the main lessons at the Berengara Special School in Glen Waverley. Like Sam, students suffer social or emotional problems that stop them succeeding at mainstream schools. With 11 teachers for just 38 students, troubled teenagers get the individual attention they need.
We seize every opportunity to acknowledge their successes, however small they may be. Mary, the art teacher, enters our kids' work in every competition that's going. And when a kid wins $50 in the Chinese lantern competition, we make a big deal of it.
Many of Berengara's students are placed in emergency accommodation by Waverley Emergency Adolescent Care, or WEAC. It aims to prevent permanent family breakdown by temporarily placing adolescents in more stable homes. Swamped by 310 requests for help in the last 12 months, WEAC has discovered a new recession-bred white-collar welfare.
You take away the dollar sign and the amount of buying power within that family, you find that the drop or the standard in living has dropped so enormously that these families just cannot cope with what's actually happening to them.
Swing your body around. You're never going to be able to do this.
Sam has become so much a part of the Wilkinsons' family that he's partnering one of the girls at her debut. While they're sad to see him go, they're glad he's able to.
It gives us the most incredible sense of achievement if we can actually get these children back to their normal homes. If we save one child from the traumas of the streets, we've done very, very well.
I love him like a brother. I really do.
You going to miss the girls?
Yeah.
And what about this Deb in August? Do you think you're going to have your dance steps worked out by then?
Hope so.
So do I.
Mum, call the dog.
Oh, Bruce.
Don't trip.
Yeah, man. Not yet. Oh.
Such expertise.
Oh, thanks.
Listen to this, Sam, okay? My son, if you find yourself in a disagreement with a stranger and temper...
I wouldn't be able to pick up a big rock. That has to be little.
What is this doing, much sexism? Yeah.
Okay, passing the coffee. So, how are you, boys? All right.
Fine, thanks. How are you?
All right. Maybe all ordinary things get caught up these days.
I'm not related to you.
I'm not letting you on to keep the wonder what fishing's like.
Well, we made that.
Oh no, you told us this morning. You get 10 weeks to practice.
Oh, man.
Oh, I just can't wait to see you in a tux.
Maestro. Maestro.
Thanks, mate.
You want to put the Nutrigrain away?
No, I'm running it.
I've got one.
You
get
right.
Yeah, there you go.
Who do you want to go see John at?
GV's on.
You've all finished, haven't you?
Yeah.
Righto.
Okay.
Part of the paper, please. Middle.
Just the front, I was front two pages.
The voice. Have the middle. Can you show the spot there? Where was I?
Lying. No, yeah. Well, I can't go. No, I know there's a train strike.
Is there?
Yeah, but I don't think it's trains. I think it's trams.
And buses,
I don't know. I know it's from 10 till 2.
system.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to say.
Oh, hang on. Oh no. No, there's nothing in the paper there.
Sign you up for neighbours soon, see?
How would you like to make yourself, your family and the family home available 24 hours a day to help homeless kids? That's what Lynn and Ivor Wilkinson do. In the past year, the Wilkinsons have housed 18 homeless children, some staying 4 to 6 weeks. And given today's unemployment figures, 11.6% for Victoria and 33% for unemployed young people, well, Lynn and Ivor are likely to have plenty of homeless to deal with in the future. Melbourne Extra heard about the Wilkinsons because their work has been acknowledged by Waverley City Council, which gave them its Caregiver of the Year award. Lynn Wilkinson joined us in the studio. Thanks for joining us, Lynn.
My pleasure.
How did you get into this?
I read an article in the Waverley Gazette written by Maureen Buck, the coordinator of Waverley Emergency Adolescent Care, approximately 18 months ago, requesting volunteers for casserole runs and bread deliveries. She decided in her wisdom to come and interview us in our home, and within 4 days, after the normal police check routine, we had our first child.
And did you ask the permission of your family? I suppose you've got children of your own. They had to be consulted.
Absolutely. We have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old daughter. Our 16-year-old was in fact an exchange student overseas at the time, but she was very much involved in the family discussion. And yes, they were all very, very willing to proceed.
Well, it's a wonderful thing. What sort of kids are they that come into your home?
All types of kids. We've found initially we were offering children respite from family conflict, given that time out for them for perhaps 4 to 6 weeks was able to resolve the conflict. Hopefully the children were able to move home. We've also taken on children who have in fact been under court orders, supervision orders. We've been involved with Community Services of Victoria, so we will take anybody in.
So, and they come from the, you know, a pretty wide, broad social spectrum, do they?
Very much so. There's a great demand in Waverley for families just as ours to provide respite for these kids. We get kids from other areas out of our region. We just don't have enough caregiver families.
Have you noticed a trend? Is it sort of creeping out of the traditional? Well, traditionally, the poorer people are the ones that get into trouble in this sort of area.
Very much so a trend.
And
in
what's the trend?
Waverley, there's a white collar recession. We have people who have been accustomed to a very good lifestyle, who are now victims of the recession just as everybody else is. Poverty comes through the front door, love flies out the window. The family becomes in conflict, breaks down, and that's where Waverley Emergency Adolescent Care steps in.
Is there any difference between working class kids and middle class kids in this situation?
No difference whatsoever. And in fact, the workers working with these children are completely non-judgmental.
What about the kids themselves? Do they stay on at school? Do any of them get jobs or have jobs?
Yes, most of them come to us are at school. They can go to any number of schools in and out of the area. We provide transport, of course, for those kids. We've just had a wonderful good luck story of a young lad who was in our care for 6 weeks who, in fact, has now got himself a job.
Is this a big strain for you?
Sometimes.
But you're coping?
Yes.
And you're going to keep doing it?
We certainly are.
Well, Lynn, I think it's fantastic, and pass on my congratulations to Ivor.
I will, for sure.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, John.
Well, I'll never forget those words of Lynn Wilkinson's. Poverty comes in the front door, love flies out the window. Makes you think, doesn't it? Lynn Wilkinson asked us to point out that 20 other families in the Waverley area are also helping the homeless. It's a great story, and we're definitely going to look more deeply into it. Imagine